Ruby woke up at 9:45 to her mother in the corner and she's crying again. And she's on the floor mumbling, when will it end? Ruby's not sure if she should leave and go to her friends, but sure enough, Ruby tends to her mother. Her father became an alcoholic due to the death of his brother, but all that stress had uncovered the troubled mess of her lover. She did her best to try and cover where she bled when he punched her. When they'd fight, Ruby would hide under the bed. She'd stay out of sight but cried to do to what was said. It wasn't right, even Ruby had bruises on her head. At night she'd try and leave but get beaten because she'd fled. It started off with bickering but soon it turned to arguments. Eventually got sick of him, assumed that she would part with him. I guess it wasn't meant to be a bruiser, just a start of things. And in the end you'll see abuse wasn't a part to live. If this is the shit you witness, you need to speak up. If this shit's happened to you, you need to speak up. If you're going through this shit, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. If this is the shit you witness, you need to speak up. If this shit's happened to you, you need to speak up. If you're going through this shit, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. They'd worked in teams since I was 16. He'd drink and go berserk cause he was a prick. See, one day he'll murder me, to think of it sickening. Wouldn't matter if it was mercury or a few shots of Jim Beam. But that was enough to lose it. She'd be left with cuts and bruises. Said his trust was fucking useless. From not watching fucking clueless. She was stuck and couldn't do this. She was fucked about to lose it. Was too much and started using her reality. She was losing. Carried on for years. For them it felt like centuries. Eyes felt with tears. Kept saying she'd leave eventually. This isn't how it's meant to be. She can't deal with it mentally. She wants to be left asleep. You know he won't let her be. Instead of leaving she proceeded to cut herself. Cause no one would fucking help. She felt she was stuck in hell. No one could tell with her troubled health. She'd become unwell. She'd say she fell and used some gel to try and mend the swell. If this is the shit you witness, you need to speak up. If this shit's happened to you, you need to speak up. If you're going through this shit, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. If this is the shit you witness, you need to speak up. If this shit's happened to you, you need to speak up. If you're going through this shit, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. As the years went by, this would just continue. No matter what she'd been through, she just felt like shit too. The drugs she would misuse, daughter would miss clues, cause she'd take hits too, cause she felt that it soothed. One day, he was bleeding till she's bleeding. Now she's having trouble breathing out her left eye, she's not seeing. He stomped on her head, cause she said that she was leaving. And he said, whatever you're doing, you cunt, you're not succeeding. No one could stop the crisis. Ruby found her mother lifeless. In her head she still denies this. Ruby's love for her was priceless. She started using ice fits to try and find the nice hit. She wouldn't cry a bit, cause she was high as shit. For her it was an escape, she was concerned that she would break. She burned till it was late, the men to hurt, man, it was great. Hates being awake, refusing food that's on her plate. Day by day she's losing days, cause most days are snoozed away. If this is the shit you witness, you need to speak up. If this shit's happened to you, you need to speak up. If you're going through this shit, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. If this is the shit you witness, you need to speak up. If this shit's happened to you, you need to speak up. If you're going through this shit, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. If you need support, call 1-800-737-732. There's always support for you. Just call out. Don't stay in the darkness. Get help.